Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma, we're going to be showing you how to install the Curt 4-way flat trailer wiring. Before we get into that though, why don't we just take a minute, check this out, and make sure it's going to work for you. If you want to end up pulling a trailer around with your Tacoma, you're going to need a way to power up all the lights on the trailer. Not only to be safe, but it's required by law too, you know, to keep you legal. And that's where a kit like this is going to come into play. All right, this is going to allow you to plug your trailer into it. And this is just a 4-way flat type connector, really common for those smaller, medium-sized trailers. Probably a lot of types of trailers that people are going to be pulling with this sort of truck. But it's going to plug in and power everything up. It's going to give you your turn signals, your brake lights, as well as your tail lights. When it comes to mounting this up, you can do it like we have here today. Just use a dust cover to secure it around the safety chain opening, which I think looks fine. It's functional. If you want to actually have a bracket though that you could screw into the bumper beam or attach to your hitch or whatever, you can always pick one up here at etrailer, but choice is completely up to you. And you know, other than that, at the end of the day, a kit, it worked really well. It's well built. And was really straightforward, so can't really go wrong with it, right? It's going to power up your trailer, so what more can you ask for? When it comes to getting it installed, I was a little surprised actually. On a lot of Toyotas, they have essentially just a plug where you can plug right into and have a 4-way flat wire coming right out of it. I looked around on here, that wasn't the case, so this kit is the best option. And usually with these, they're a little more time consuming. This one wasn't bad at all. Everything's pretty easy to get to. You have a lot of space to work. And so as far as this type of wiring goes, this is definitely one of the easier ones. Don't get me wrong, it's going to take a little bit of time to route everything, but it is doable. But with that said, why don't we go ahead, pull into the garage, and hook it up together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be here at the back of our vehicle, and we are going to need to remove the taillights. So drop your tailgate, and we're going to have 3 fasteners we need to remove. 3 fasteners will be this one here and these 2 down here. It'll be a 10mm. And I want to mention anything we do on this side of the vehicle, from this point on, we're going to do to the other side, because it'll be set up the same. But we can run those out. And then grab our tail light and just kind of carefully pull back and out. And what I did a minute ago, which I found that helps sometimes, I just took some soapy water and kind of sprayed it in the crack there to help these release. So that's a trick you can do. But we'll go ahead and get this disconnected. So we're gonna have a few connectors here. This one, just push down on the tab, the middle. That one. And this one as well. This one's a little tight. With that out of the way, we can set our light off to the side. What we can do now over here on the driver's side, we can take our T connector from our new wiring that has yellow and white and the red, brown, and white. The yellow and white one will plug into this top port here on our factory wiring. So you can't mess these up, they only go in one way, you know. This one will get plugged into the port below it. And eventually we'll plug our taillights in there. But for now, we're going to do a couple of other things. One of them being, we can take our 4-way flat connector and drop that down to the bottom side of our vehicle. And kind of got a big mess here. Take our green T connector and drop that down as well. That'll go to the passenger side sooner or later. And while we're right here, we can take this this power wire and get it all hooked up. To get this power wire hooked up, you're going to take a butt connector, slide it over. I'm using a heat shrink type butt connector. The ends seal up and just help protect against corrosion a little bit better. But the ones that come in the kit will work fine. They work the same way as this. Put it in and crimp it down. And then we can take one end of our power wire and strip that back. Give it a twist. And then put that into the other end of the butt connector. Get that crimped down. Come back with my heat gun and seal up the ends. So I went ahead, put some electrical tape over our connection that we just made, just to provide a little extra protection there. Then we can take the other end of our power wire and we're going to drop that down to the bottom side of our vehicle as well. Now we can secure our module box. The kit does come with some two-sided sticky tape. Ours wasn't sticky at all. So, but what you could do if yours is clean off the surface and use that to secure it. So I'm just going to take a self-tapping screw and secure it that way. Just run it right through here. And that ain't gonna go anywhere. And then with another self-tapper, we can take our ground wire and secure it as well. We'll just go in a similar location and run it down. With everything wrapped up there, now we can grab our tail light and just simply plug everything right back in and reinstall it the opposite way that we removed it. Underneath the truck, on the driver's side, this is where our wires come out. So the green one and the four-way flat's gonna get routed towards the passenger side. So I just ran them up along through here. And when you're routing wires, do your best to avoid any hot or moving parts. So you can use zip ties to secure them here and there. But the four-way flat just comes, and I dropped it down right here and connected it to our hitch using the dust cover. I did put on some wire loom just to kind of clean up the install look, which you can grab separately. Don't come with the kit, nor is it absolutely necessary. But so that's that. The green wire is just going to continue along over through here, where it goes over our frame and follows this wiring up into the taillight pocket. Over here on the passenger side, our green T connector comes up and plugged it in just like the other side. So with this one, we'll just have this one. It'll go in this top portion there, and just snap the rest of our connectors back in. And with that done, we'll reinstall this side as well. Back underneath our truck, we can get our power wire routed to the front of our vehicle in the engine compartment. And some spots are a little tricky to see, so bear with us here, but our wire goes up and over the frame. And then along through here, there's a factory wire harness that I followed. So it just continues along. You can see where it comes through there. And then it's gonna kind of disappear again. You just take the wire and push it forward up through that opening in there. And like I said, you just feed it forward and it'll drop down here and there, and you can kind of continue to route it along, but not a ton of space to show here with our fuel tank and whatnot. But wire's gonna come down, or where I put it, right here. All right, and then it really opens up and gets a lot easier. I just follow these factory lines up towards the front. All the way up, and these lines will kind of go into the engine compartment. And once I had it here, I was actually able to reach over and grab it and pull it up into place. If you don't want to do that, what you can do is take a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger, straighten it out, or something similar to that. Drop it down from the top. You can tape your wire to it and then go back up and pull that coat hanger up there to get the wiring in place. In the engine compartment, our wiring is going to come right up through here, and I started to route it more towards the driver's side and just along through the side here where we can get it hooked up to our battery. So it is going to come included with the fuse holder, and you can strip the ends back on the fuse holder just like we did in the back there with the power wire. Use a butt connector to connect it to the power wire, and on the other end of the fuse holder just crimp on this ring terminal. So really straightforward, same way we did the one back there. Make sure the fuse is not installed yet. What we're going to do, and get this out of the way, if you open this up, it's going to expose our positive battery terminal. So we can remove that nut using a 12mm. And when I do this, I like to kind of put some downward pressure on the other cables just to try to keep everything connected. That way our clocks and stuff don't get reset inside of the truck. Just take the ring terminal, slide it right on over. We can then get the nut reinstalled. Tighten it down, and then push that back on. You can take the included fuse and place it into the holder. Now we can test our wiring to make sure it's working properly. I'm using this tester as opposed to just plugging into our trailer. And that's because if our trailer has any issues, it might mislead us into thinking it's something we did on the vehicle side. But we'll go ahead, hit our left turn signal, our right turn signal, turn on our taillights, and then hit our brakes. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Curt 4-way flat trailer wiring on our 2022 Toyota Tacoma.